All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to another real estate wholesaling analysis paralysis uh, live event. My name is Elton, like Elton John. I'll be your host today, Monday, and all the following days whenever we're hosting these live events. A little bit just about me. I've been in real estate wholesaling for the last 8 to 9 months already, transitioning to becoming an investor. So I learned a lot from some buyers that we've done some deals with in the past, and additionally to just trying to transition over to that phase where I'm actually getting to understand how to buy other properties commercial wise as well too, and such. I am located in California, in Southern California, but my investments are definitely going to be out of state just because California is just crazy too expensive and it's not landlord friendly. So I'm just looking for incentives in that route. But a little bit more about real estate wholesaling. When I started real estate wholesaling, I actually had learned a little bit about it prior to when I actually started 8, 9 months ago. And that was back in 2020, where during the pandemic, there was really nothing to do. So at the time, I just took, I'm always self-taught. So I just took the initiative on just learning a lot, and everyone was on video form. So it was just a lot of videos for me to learn, picked up a few books as well too. And then once things slowly and steady start opening up, just attending a lot of network events, and those network events let me feel understand how buyers buy things to implement that into the real estate wholesaling. So now part of that is I'm noticing that other people do get stuck with analysis paralysis. So I just want to expedite on how to achieve that. And then from there, any questions you guys do have at the end, by all means, write them in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves and then ask any questions from there. So let's get started. So the basics of real estate wholesaling, there are some fundamental things to understand. There are quite a few steps. These are like the big, broad, major steps on real estate wholesaling. But whenever we're looking into a deal, or we're just analyzing some deals, it is definitely there are definitely going to be quite a few other tiny steps that are going to build those big steps. And again, the main one that I'm going to be focusing on this series, and this what this whole series is about, and then any prior series live events, I mean, are also recorded and uploaded to my website, eltonvargas.com. So you're able to check those out, and any other questions anybody else has answered that. Previous deals that we come across, some deals that are no deals whatsoever, and how to find those, and then just continue moving on forward. But the main part we're gonna be focusing again is the understanding repairs, and also how to bring your highest allowable offer, because again, that's part of the due diligence part as well too, of submitting an offer in. So whenever you're starting an offer in, you do have to understand how things get calculated, and that's where ARV comes into play, or after repair value, basically what the property will be worth if it gets fully updated, if it needs like major work, or if it's like a rental as well too. Maybe it just might need some little touches as well too. It really depends on the kind of properties that it is that we're analyzing. But across the board, from investor 1, 2, and 3, they're all going to do this, pretty much like the same thing. They're just going to have little tweaks here and there. And that's the thing. That's where you have to understand that buyers do calculate their numbers very, very differently. It's don't take offense into it. The right buyer will definitely want to take your opportunity if it makes sense for them, because again, they calculate and they do their due diligence very differently from across the board. Just like as you can tell already off the bat, from investor 1, 2, and 3. Investor 1 focus on repairs first. Investor 2 calculates like their profits and their expenses beforehand. And investor 3 are just going to be doing things way different than the other two. But investor 1 and 2 are they're going to be the main ones. But across the board, they do start with ARV. That is the number one thing that we have to understand, and just get off on the first step. The next step is going to count the repair value or repair. So you got to understand if it's an update that the property needs, that it's outdated. Maybe it's like a 1960s home that hasn't it just got little touches as the seller lived on that property, but nothing major has been done like on the property. Everything has been in its traditional has its traditional parts. and materials into the property, then that's something that has to get updated. Or maybe you come across a property that is just stripped down, it's down to the studs, it was just bad taken care of, or it's been vacant for a long time, that the property is rotten. That's another thing as well too. Or you could come across some properties that are just rentals. They can be multifamily as well too, that also need some type of work little by little. But that's the first thing. It's ARV. Next is understand repairs. Repairs is something that you shouldn't be spending too much time. It's all about categorizing how much you're adding to a list. The more you add into a list, the more you are able to like get like a picture of what's actually happening. But the main ones are going to be these. It's going to be light repairs, average repairs, and then gut job repairs. These three are the main ones. When it comes to light repairs, this is where we're thinking about a property that it's rented. Or again, maybe it's like a 2005 home, maybe 2010 home that it just needs like a little bit of touches whatsoever, and you can have it rent ready. And these are going to be consisting of carpet and paint. Next is going to be average repairs. This is where we start getting to those fix and flippers, investors, where they're going to be coming in, updating like the floors, kitchen, bathroom, do some color scheme in the paint, maybe update like the lights, utilities, and maybe do some gardening for the front yard or the backyard. Just little things like that are going to be coming in. There's going to be more like on the average repair, and those average repairs are going to cost between 25 to like $40 per square foot. And next is going to be the gut job repairs. Gut job repairs do consist of, again, heavier work. It's just a full, basically, it's almost as similar as building like a brand new home, except you don't have to worry about building the home. It's already built. The studs are there. It's just bringing about all new materials throughout the entire home whatsoever. So that way you can get a full makeup update from there. So don't dwell to them. Those are the basics ones that you should be just strictly sticking to. Now, whenever we're looking at a property and we're analyzing like the property, we're getting the after repair value. We're getting understand where the repairs need to be. Next, before you actually get to know like the ARV, you're actually going to be looking for similar properties in the neighborhood, or what we like to call is comps. And what comps, whenever you're looking at comps, you do have to stick within certain parameters. So that way you're making sure that you're comparing apples to apples, and then you're not comparing apples to oranges. Some of these parameters are going to be the following. The first is going to be the living space of the property. It has to be plus or minus 300 square feet. Lot size, this is going to come into play whenever you're looking at farm style properties, the properties that have like 2 acres, 3 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, or even more from there. Those are the properties that are going to be required to make sure that they're within the same comp size, within the same lot size. Next is making sure that you're sticking within a close neighborhood or within a certain radius of the neighborhood, which is usually recommended to stick between half a mile to a 1 mile radius for those comps. Next is when you're looking within that neighborhood, you also want to make sure that you're not crossing major roads um, on the comps. Some major roads that include like that are not double yellow line roads. And what double yellow line roads are basically, an example is here in Long Beach. There's a street in downtown called Ocean Boulevard. Ocean Boulevard, it's a heavy traffic road in the mornings when people are getting to and from work, in the afternoons when people are getting to driving back to their homes. But these roads, they include, there's going to be construction trucks, buses. It's just a heavy transportation road that an appraiser is not going to compare, again, a property from one side to the other. Even if it's apples to apples, they're just not going to pull that comp whatsoever, just because of that busy road. It's kind of like a danger zone for them. So that's it. That's going to bring that a lot of value down to like the property. The next is going to be making sure that you're sticking within the same year of the property. You don't want to compare a 2023 fully remodeled and just built home, compare it to a 1945 home, where again the materials are going to be very different across the board. So again, stick to apples. And of course, whenever we're looking at comparables, you want to make sure that you get a good amount of comparables, most recently sold as well too, that are within the last 6 to 9 months, and then make sure that you are able to get 3 to 5 comparables into place, because again, the more comparables, the stronger they are, it is going to be easier for you to get rid of the property to an end buyer, especially in this business of real estate wholesaling. All right. Next is definitely whenever you're working on getting a property under contract, you definitely have to work on some contingencies to make sure that you're playing it safe in your side, and also for your end buyer. Make sure that you're able to qualify and find the right buyer that makes sense for the property that you're trying to get rid of, which you're not trying to get rid of a property. Remember, part of real estate wholesaling is getting a property under contract, and then you're trying to sell that contract. You're not selling a property, you're not advertising a property, you're advertising the assignment of a contract, because the minute you are selling a property, you're basically, and then you don't have your real estate license, you're definitely going to get in a lot of trouble, because you are acting as a broker without a license, and then that can definitely get you in a lot of trouble. So you always have to promote the property into you're promoting the contract where the which includes the property, but you're promoting the contract, because again, you're not doing what a real estate broker is doing when they're advertising properties. Hopefully that makes sense. But part of the contingencies phase is definitely to make sure that you are able to qualify your property, and then also qualify your end buyer, to make sure that everything works well in terms of numbers, and then interest as well, into the property interest. I mean, into like the end buyer, you find someone who's like willing to again purchase your assignment contract. So part of those contingencies are definitely going to be closing period, how quickly you're able to close on the deal. This could be paying the closing fees or not paying the closing fees. Your end buyer, excuse me, your end buyer is going to be paying for these closing fees, if you want to, or if you don't want, if you don't want them to pay those closing fees, you don't have to bring it up as well too. Next is earnest money deposit. This is pretty standard across the board, where you're paying 1% of the earnest money deposit. This will definitely be refundable if it comes out of your pocket, and then whenever, or sometimes if you want to have your end buyer pay for the earnest money deposit, you can tell them that it can be refundable, or it cannot be refundable. That's really up to you. Of course, the most important of them all is having an inspection period. An inspection period, it's a term which gives you the opportunity to check out the property furthermore, also take pictures of the property, start marketing the contract assignment for the property, so that we can find end buyers who are interested on the area and also on the property. And they're also going to be giving you some feedback once they get a chance to check out the property. And also, you again, one end buyer is going to say that they're interested, but they're going to end up backing out because they don't have funding, they don't have this, they don't have that. They're going to give out their answers as well too. So you again, it's that time during the inspection period where you want to find a very interested buyer that is for sure going to move on forward to closing on the property. All right. Next, part of this that I definitely love to do is I love to do a series called Deal or No Deal. So we're actually going to be doing some, we're going to be looking for some properties that are actually right now live on the market, and we're going to do a spin the wheel. So that way we're able to see if we can find a property that is live at the moment, analyze it, see how I analyze my deals from here, and then additionally too, get a sense on how I'm able to expedite my process just by simply heading over to my website, eltonvargas.com, and then I've designed a calculator. Looks like this thing logged me out. Let me just log in really quick. And basically this the calculator lets me, and if you guys do want to have access to the calculator, it is going to be available on the chat as well too. But if you want to have access to the calculator, you can head over to the calculators tab and then head over to the pro bundle. And then from there, you'll have access to the calculators by using coupon code not gatekeeping. Again, that's coupon code not gatekeeping, where it is going to get shut down at the end of the month, or where you won't have to pay anything for it. It is going to be complete for free. But until January 31st is the last day to get that, so take advantage before it goes away. But through this entire calculator, I've designed a process to just expedite the numbers, make sure that it makes sense. And we're going to go through this together on this live properties that we have going on Redfin, Zillow, and then we're going to use a free website called PropWire to find some comps as well too. So we're going to use a handful of resources that I use on a daily basis, so that way I'm able to find deals either again for my own investments and then also for this real estate wholesale analysis paralysis events. So today we have Bangor, Maine, and let's check out Bangor, Maine. See see what we're able to get from here. All right, cool. So we have Bangor, Maine. I just want to see how far it is from Augusta and Newport. Okay. Okay. Let me check out here. So let's dive into this. So we have this property. First things first, I'm actually going to be filtering it down. And the way I'm going to be filtering it down is going to be like this. I'm going to be interested in looking for properties that have been sitting for more than 45 days. I like properties that are at least 1,000 square feet and more, and then properties that have not that are not very new. Again, I'm looking for outdated properties. If I'm looking for rentals, then I will have to filter it down for very differently from there. But when I'm looking for fix and flippers in the area, and then I'm definitely going to be looking for properties that again need some type of fix and flipping from here. So these are the top properties that Redfin pops up. We can do the same thing with we can do the same thing with Zillow, because a lot more people actually upload on Zillow. And again, it's going to be the same thing. Make sure we're looking for properties for sale. Let's remove the boundary. Let me just select all this, look for a home. And then from here, I'm looking for, yeah, I'm looking for properties that are 1,000 square feet and then nothing older than 2005. Awesome. Okay, and then it looks like we also have some properties sold by for sale by owner as well too. Um, but actually, before I even move forward with that, if you guys if you're starting with a real estate wholesaling and then you actually want to look for properties that owners are selling, I do have a goldmine list over here of websites that where you're able to find properties that are sold by owners. So all these are not agent. They're just all these homeowners are selling their properties basically without any agent representation whatsoever. So they're selling it on their own at their own price, and you're basically talking to the seller directly. Some of these websites, they do have like an agent representation for whatever reason it's in there, but these are amazing websites that you'll find. Hubsu, Zone, Fisber for sale by owner, FSBO, buy owner, helpyousell.com, and of course you're gonna find the most common ones: PropWire, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, and of course Craigslist. But these websites, it's available on the blog. It's complete for free on the real estate education side. Head over to the blog area, and then you'll be able to have access to those links off the bat. But these are amazing investments if you're, I mean, yeah, great listings from properties that are being sold by owners. So I do like Redfin a little bit just because it has quite a little bit more properties from here. But let's check out some of these. And I'm looking for properties that are a little bit outdated, kind of like this one, nothing too crazy. Um, it does have like new floors. Looks like the pictures were taken by an iPhone. So somebody got a little bit lazy on this side. So kitchen definitely can get some update lights as well too. Um, Again, maybe the flooring can definitely stay, but again, we want to make it even throughout the entire home. Definitely get rid of that carpet, lighting, again, windows, possibly some of them. Um, I don't know what's up with this shower, but it can be transformed into like an all glass shower. Again, it's all about just experience of what I've seen other investors do, that I can already see. And again, this is what I like. This is what we like to see. We like to see this grayish, old looking LVP flooring being into place. But again, definitely this looks like it's a big home as well too, 2446. So let's start putting some details because this property, it is listed. It's been on the market for 45 days. It is listed with an agent. Um, and again, I do like the area. It's like right in the middle of a park. It's basically really close to like the airport downtown area. So I definitely like this. And let's start doing some due diligence. So the property is being listed for 289,900. It's a 2446 square footage. 446, 289,900. Property does it have a basement? Let's get some property details. It has an unfinished basement. Sometimes it tells you how big this basement is. Let me see if it shows over here. Building area, cool. Okay, so no details on the basement. That's perfectly fine. It's 3 bedroom, 3 bath property. But it does have a basement, so I'm gonna say it's 1,000 square feet of a basement. And then from here, all right. So for this, if you were to invest it like yourself, you're putting yourself as the investor, you want to fix and flip this property, or if you want to buy and hold it, you will select those. But if you're trying to wholesale, over here off the bat, it's going to give you a possible purchase price or basically a possible offer to submit in the beginning. Of course, this is not fully settled down because we don't even know. We haven't done the rest of the necessary steps, which again, first is trying to find the ARV of the property, also estimate like the repairs. But I actually changed it on this calculator because we want to see the repairs, how much it needs. And based on the presentation, again, we're talking about the more you're listing, the more it's going to need. So for this, I'm listing definitely kitchen, bathroom, flooring, like in the second level over here, windows, paint. So as you can see, we already have 5 things in hand. I already said bathrooms, anything else, lights as well too. So all those things are going to be into place. So that's going to be more on the average repairs. So again, average repairs range from 25 to like $40 per square foot. So for this one, it is a big home, so it is going to take some of it. I'm going to say around 35,000, I mean around $35 per square foot. It's going to be needed, so it's going to need about $90,000 from repairs. Basement, they didn't show pictures of the basement. Um, whatsoever. So I don't know what the condition of the property is. And then this is why it's always best to reach out. If you're working with sellers directly, it's all about asking what the property's condition is so that we can understand what the best offer it is that you can bring into place. But then sometimes when there's no pictures or there's some information missing, the simplest way to find out is just start asking. This possibly looks like the basement, but I don't know if this is like the yeah, I just don't know what this section of the home is. It's really hard to tell, but I don't see any pictures of the basement. And again, it's an unfinished basement too. So, yeah, I'm gonna estimate around. So usually for repairs are going to be half of the price of the living space. So we're looking at $35 of living space repairs. Then we are going to be needing about half of the basement repairs. Again, especially being a unfinished basement, we just want to make sure we update the entire home. So there's going to be a total cost of repairs could be $102,610. Let's say for this area, the average investor wants to make at least like 15% in profit. Then right now, right here off the bat, we have two ARVs. So this is where we get to our ARVs. And again, the ARV is what the property will be valued once it gets fully updated. So because this property is listed with an agent, on the left side is kind of like the agent or telling us, or this, if you were to work with a seller, the seller is telling us, look, if you buy the property at this price at 289,900, you spend $102,000 in repairs, and you want to make 15% profit on the deal, you have to sell the property for $484,725. Now, in the other side is if we were to buy this property at the possible purchase price or the possible offer to get the highest offer that we can bring to the deal, then from here we spend that much of the 188, 435. We add in the repairs of 102,000, and of course, we want our end buyer to make 15% on their profit. Then we can have to sell this property for $356,371. So here it gives you two ARVs, but the way I see this is this is a range where I need to find comparables close to between these two ranges. The higher it is, then it makes sense that the agent has a list at a good price. But if it's lower, then that means there's no actually the properties are actually selling for a lot less than this. So your property is way overpriced. And I need to buy it way lower than that just because that's what the market is showing. So now that I have this property, I'm actually going to be duplicating the property from here. So that way I can go back to the area that we were just looking at, and 274, where'd it go? 289, 900, where'd it go? I don't know, I thought it was like close to this park. There we go. All right, so this is our subject property right over here on this neighborhood. So now I'm going to be filtering it basically for recently sold properties. I'm looking for recently sold properties in the last 6 to 9 months. And then same thing, I'm going to be looking um, at comps on PropWire. PropWire is complete for free. You don't have to subscribe or pay anything for it. The only thing you have to pay for is if you ever want to find who the owner of a property is, then that's when you were able to purchase a skip trace, and then skip tracing is only 10 cents for the skip trace. So that is all that. So same thing from here. I'm looking within the mile radius, and I'm looking within the last 6 to 9 months. I'm looking for properties that have the same number of beds, 3 bedrooms. And then from here, I'm also looking for um, plus or minus 1 bedroom from here. So let's check this out. All right, cool. And I already did within 6 months too. So part of this, again, I'm noticing there are some major roads. So we have this major Hammond Street. Then we have this other street as well too. So what I like about PropWire is you're able to do this drop button. Same thing with Redfin and Zillow. You have these drop buttons that you're able to draw from the area that you want to stick with. So for example, for this, uh, what's the square footage for my subject property? 2,400. So again, we're looking at plus or minus 300. So there's not 21. So I'm gonna look for this. No max, because again, I'm looking for all comps. And then for the highest, I'm looking for 2750. Yeah, 2750. Barely passed on there. And then as you can see, this is kind of like the area that you want to stick with. If I can draw it out, it'll be this right over here. This neighborhood is basically what I'm looking into, finding these comps. Because again, that's the neighborhood that the property is located at. And the same thing over here for PropWire. You just draw your points, and then was it right here? Bam, 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 shabam. So these is where my subject properties are located. So it looks like it showed me within a half-mile radius. So same thing over here. The only thing about this, I'm not finding um, recently sold properties in PropWire, and then the most recently sold property in Redfin, it looks like it's in October. So these are a little bit outdated, but let's see what we're able to find. Again, I'm looking for properties that are fully updated. So let's check out this one, see what the condition of it is. Red door, awesome. Okay. Not recently updated, but in way better condition. Definitely granite countertops, updated appliances, LVP flooring, definitely good condition bathrooms. So I'm definitely going to be use this one. And then the price per square foot is right over here. So the price per square foot is 147. So then now what I'm putting in my comps, I'm gonna put the price per square foot. So I have one property so far. Again, it's sold in October. So if it's sold in October, then I'm definitely going to be looking for properties that sold in October from here. Check out this one. This one's sold for 340. And this is an amazing property over here that it just a great bathroom, appliances. It's just great color scheme as well too. They're sticking to like that gray and white for the property. So amazing. Again, I like this one off the bat as well too. So we have this 341 sold for $164 a square foot. And as you can see, slowly and steady, this is going to be calculating where our offer is. So far, we're looking close to where our asking price is. Again, if we go back to how much the property needs to sell for, again, we're getting close to our side. We're not getting close to the agent side. And again, agents are going to have access to comps because they have access to the MLS, but at the same time, um, maybe they're pulling properties that are further back. Again, all states, all agents from all cities and states, they do things very differently. So it is sometimes it's best to ask them like what comps do they have, and they'll definitely share with you so that we can expedite the process of analyzing the property. Now we're getting to like September. I don't really like getting too far out on that section. So let me go here and then use Zillow. Again, same area. I'm gonna be looking for properties here. Let's see if Zillow has some properties in place. So I'm looking for properties that are 2000 all up to 2750, and the year it doesn't. We're not gonna look at that. And Zillow has nothing. Jeez, nothing whatsoever. So that's already kind of a not is kind of that is definitely like a major flag for me. Because again, there's not a lot of activity happening. Again, I was looking at properties that sold in October, so I do see this one, 44th 6th Street. Let me try to get the address and see if it actually sold for that price. Let's check it out here. Let me go back to Redfin, open up one of these, and let's see how much this property sold for. It did sell in October, 325. Oh, this is the one that we were just looking at. Okay, so we only have two comps. And then that's bad already off the bat. So to me, that again, I gotta find 3 to 5 comps. These two are already kind of way too far out. Anything further than that, now we're getting to like September. Yes, it's within that time frame, but one property sold in September, and then the other one, it's not until August. So one property a month. It looks like they sell over here in this area. Um, so that's not really good news whatsoever. Um, I'll try to use this one. Hopefully it's really updated inside. Let's check it out. Uh, it has good stuff. It's just the color scheme. See it. They just focus on the photoshopping of the material of the tables and everything. Way too many color schemes. So I really don't like that. That property is way too big. Yeah, and this one, 360. Yeah, I just don't like this whatsoever. So honestly, to me, this would be a deal that I will have to pass on. Because if I put zero over here again, now it's just gonna be bringing this the price per square foot way too low, and there's really nothing else that I'm able to find in three different resources to make sure that I'm able to find properties that again sold within the last 6 months. There's just not a lot of activity happening over here. Let's check out this one. 95 Silver Road. Okay, I'm not trying to force a deal either, but I just want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence. Because some buyers end up looking at properties that are like way far out. And yeah, this is a one level home, and it's just not gonna work. Look at that. That is way too many colors on one property. I definitely don't like that. So yeah, this is going to be like a bad deal for me that I'm really not going to be interested on finding whatsoever. So I would prefer to like move on forward uh, from this property. So nothing on there whatsoever. And again, sometimes even before I start doing comps, I'll just prefer to reach out to the agent and see what is it that he or she has, and we'll just go from there. So this is what I'm talking about. Is sometimes you can spend way too much time trying to force like a deal, but I'm not gonna be forcing a deal. Just from my experience, I already know to move on forward from this property. So that's where I have to move on. But I'll connect with the agent to see if I can find a deal there. That one, it's already fully updated. Um, let me see. So this is what I like to do at times as well too, is I want to get an understanding where there's activity. So I'm not finding a lot of activity in the area. So I'm gonna be looking for I'm just gonna looking for properties that sold in the last 6 months. So this is like a ultimate hack to do is see where there's activity. So for example, if I were to draw some of these, so these are all there's no filters to this one. It's literally just all the recently sold properties. So what I like to do is I'm gonna draw my circles. I'm gonna draw my circle here. So this is like a neighborhood. Over here, there's 38 homes sold. All right, cool. Let me draw another. Um, looks like we have this neighborhood right over here, the split of this road. So let's check out this. Over here, we have 36 homes. Okay. So I'm looking for an area where there's a lot of activity. Again, we have this one right over here. Over here, we have 16 homes. What about over here? Over here, we have 15. And that's pretty much it. I thought it was gonna be like a lot right over here. Let's check out this last one. So the main area that I was literally just checking is where there's more homes being sold. So 19. So over here is the area that has like the most sold properties. Um, so that's basically where there's the most activity. And with the most activity, I basically mean there's more buyers over here investing into this area. So uh I want to make sure I stick to this. There's about 30 homes over here. So I would prefer to stick to this area. Let me check out this one more time. Why is it not letting me do this? Ah, my license is just coming horrible. Cool, 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 cool. All right, I'm just trying to draw like the best line within those neighborhoods, just so that way other properties don't pop up. From here, stick to the State Street. Bam, golden. Awesome. I mean, we have 33. So this one had 30 homes. This one has 33. So 31 because I have to exclude this one. So yeah, let me check out this area right over here and let's see what I'm able to find on this neighborhood. So far we have one, two, three, four properties. But again, this is the area where there's activity. There's more activity over here on this side than the other side. That one looks not too bad. This 315 this is a huge home. So this is a good one right over here. Yeah, definitely it needs some work. This one looks like it has some walkthrough, 3D walkthroughs. So this is probably gonna be in better condition. Of course, this one is just a lot. Prime development and the city of Bangor. Okay, cool. So between these two, this one's not too bad, like on the outside. What happened? What's the story? This one has been on the market for 67 days. And then this one has been on the market for 36 days, but it's a multifamily. Okay. So this is a multifamily step-by-step process, which I'm actually going to be using instead of the ARV calculator, I'm going to use the complete rental calculator. So again, when it comes to looking at rentals, it is definitely all about numbers. So this property, there's no description from the agent. Oh man, okay. So there's no description whatsoever. That sucks. There's no details about rent. There's no details about anything whatsoever. So it's literally all just pictures. So I gotta rely on the pictures for me to see if it's an investment. So far the outside needs to get updated. This needs some work, kitchen as well too. Maybe update a little bit of the bathroom. But when it comes to looking at properties that are rentals, this is gonna be more on the rental side area. So this is what I like to use Zillow rent estimate, and we'll actually let you know what the rent estimate is for our property. And let's check it out here. Cool. Let's continue. Oh, I think I'm gonna sign in. Let me sign in. This thing can give me access to this. All right, let's see. Let's see. So 15. So this property can rent out between 15 to like 18. So 1600. Okay, I'll call it 1600. Um, that's the thing. There's no details about it to seeing if it's one bedroom. Like what's the how many units does it have? Like anything whatsoever. Like give me as much details as possible, please. So nothing there. Let's see if there's some details here. So it's a two bedroom, one bath. Yeah, something went wrong. How come over here it says two bedroom, one bath? Okay. There's pictures, but no, it's not currently for sale. It's a 14 sold. Let's check out the details over here. This is why you have to get as many resources as possible. All right, cool. So we have a 4 bedroom, two bath. Um, let's check out history 2013. Okay. So I don't know if it's like a two bedroom, one bath for multifamily because there's 2 units. And again, there's no details on here whatsoever. So I'm gonna say it's 2 bedroom, one bath for each single unit. And then I'm guessing because again, when you're looking, especially looking at multifamily, if it's a 2 bedroom, one bath, this is the tricky thing about it. Oh, even here on Zillow is saying 2 bedroom, one bath, and then the rent estimate could be 1,500. So then I'm gonna use some per bag or ME, Bangor, Bangor, ME, rent. Let's see, average rent in Bangor, ME. So this is why I like Sumper, because I'm gonna say it's a 2 bedroom. It's definitely a, or actually let's do 4 bedroom home. It's a house. Let's see what it gives me. So it looks like the average rent is $2,700. Um, it's $2,700 as of August 23. We don't have enough inventory to generate median rent for 4 bedrooms and bath. Please adjust your filters. Um, so 15. So how much? Yeah, I'm gonna go with like 2,500. Um, I'm gonna go with that 2,700. So what I'm gonna do here is how much they're asking for the property. So 315. So I'm gonna go with the 1,500. So the 1,600 um per property. So I'm gonna put them out here. Let's say my down payment is 20%. I get a loan of 7.5%. I'm just trying to like play it safe. I'm not gonna pay the closing costs. This is an investment for us. Um, and then from here, I will take away the rent for some of these other ones. And then we're gonna say it's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So we're gonna put 2 units at $1,600 each unit. It looks like there's no it's a home, so we can't put any laundry, anything like that to generate extra income. There's no garage on it either. It's just like a driveway right in front from it. Um, so that's pretty much everything from there. Next, so that means the property can rent out for $3,200 a month. So my gross income per year is going to be $38,400 a year of gross income. My expenses, the standard across the board is always going to be 40%. So I'm gonna leave my expenses there. You can break down your expenses and then have even Zillow help you out on the property as well too. So again, if you're to put buy it for 315, 7.25. Actually, let's adjust our rate because it's giving again Zillow, it's already doing my homework for me. So 7.25. My initial investment, I will need my monthly payment will be 1,700, and then my initial investment will be 78 because again of the closing costs and the down payment all together. My rents could be $1,600 per unit, so $200 of income. And then my expenses, I can either leave it at 40%, the standard, or if I want to break down everything from here, then I'll break it down. So my first things first could be taxes. My property tax is going to be 317. So I'm gonna put over here 317. Next is insurance. It's my insurance over here is gonna cost 105. Um, 105, there's no HOA. Maintenance is usually going to be 5% of the rent. So if I'm renting it for $3,200 a single month, then from here, I'm gonna multiply 3,200 times 5%, which is going to be 160. My vacancy, this is a standard is 5%. Some of them like to do a little bit more, 10%, which is basically going to be 320. And then property management is going to be 10%. Maybe you can get away with a little bit less as well too, so 320. So my actual expenses and any other expenses you have from here as well, so you can add them into place. But my total actual expense is going to be $1,000 less from here. So my net operating income is 23,736, and then my mortgage or my debt service, that's what mortgage is called. If I were to, this is my net operating income, but from here I need to deduct my debt service or AKA mortgage. So I will subtract my $23,000 from my mortgage, which is $20,000 every single year. This property is going to be cash flowing me around $3,000 a year, not a month, $3,000 a year, which is going to give me a 3.95 cash on cash return, and I'm basically buying the property at 7.54. So not too bad, not too shabby. I want to try to get it like around 10%. So then from here, I'll definitely want to buy the property probably around 290, honestly. And then just 290 will definitely get me closer to that. Let me see. So now again, my cash flow just increased by $1,000 for the year. I'm still at 8%. So actually my cap, let me see. Uh like 23,736 divided by 10%. Actually, I need to buy this property at close to like 250, 237 to be exact. I'll show you right now. 237, 360 for me to be like at 10%. Because again, the way it goes when looking for investments, especially for rentals, is buying it at a higher cap rate. Because lower cap rate is going to be riskier, higher cap rate is going to be safer. Because again, you always want to buy high and then sell it low at a lower cap rate. So I want to get close to between 10 to like 15%. So that way this property can at least bring me in around $8,000 in cash flow. Again, the property uh, does need some updates as well too, so I have to consider repair updates into place. So that's going to affect some of the cash flow already from the beginning of the year. But that's the thing. Those are the factors that I have to bring in. But I have to see if there's tenants in there, how long the tenants have been in there, what the P&L is for the property, basically how much has it profited, how much has it lost, what those expenses look like right now. So those are all factors that I need to apply because again, when you're looking at a rental property, it is strictly just by the numbers. Nothing else really matters in there. It's just you want to make sure it really makes sense. And again, it's a hot market. And based on the area, even for this property as well too, this is something you got to check out just to confirm, because Zillow told us it could rent out for 1,500, but then let me check out what other properties are selling for, and or if there's any properties selling for that much. So a one bedroom, one bath, it's renting it out um, for 1,400. What does a two bedroom rent out like in the area? Looks like we have a 1,200. This property over here, two bedroom, two bath, is renting it out. So this is the thing. This is exactly what we will have to do to update our home so that way we can bring a bigger rental into the property. Fully update the entire kitchen, bathrooms, doors, flooring, painting, everything. So this is exactly what we'll have to do for us to bring our income higher. And then from that's why the property we need to buy it lower. Because let's say we able to rent out um each side by for $2,800, then now we're definitely going to be cash flowing the hell out of this property. We're going to be cash flowing. Again, this is still buying it at the asking price at that low price of 237, 360. Because again, it needs a good amount of work. We probably need to spend a good $60,000 on this property. Because again, it is a bigger square footage. We're looking at what is it, 21? So I must say I'm gonna spend $40 a square foot times 2189. Actually, we're closer to like $87,000 in just updates. Um, so I can spend 80,000. I can try to bring my cost down to like $60,000. I'll definitely be great. So that way, again, we can bring out the rental higher. But that's the thing about it is we need to buy it at a crazy low price, spend the $60,000, so that'll bring extra initial investment into play, which is going to cut some of the profit in the beginning. But once it cash flows and then there's renters into place, then that's when this baby can definitely bring a 62% cash on cash return or a $36,000 cash flow on the property. But again, this is the thing is making sure that you're able to get a hell of a deal when looking at a property, especially when we're looking at a property that it's a rental one. By all means, it's strictly just down to the numbers from it. Um, but I will call this a deal. But again, I have to negotiate $100,000 less. If I'm able to get it for 315, and I mean 215, that'll definitely be a game. That'll definitely be the deal. and then again spend the $60,000 on the property, then that's when the cash flow will definitely can start coming in. It'll probably take about 4 months to fully update it. But hey, that's definitely going to help us out. And not only that, but also that our numbers are even going to be changing from here. Because let's say again we buy it around 215, or we buy it around 215 on the property. And then from here, it's going to tell us that property taxes went down to 216 and home insurance dropped to 72. So 216, 72, there's no HOA maintenance. Again, it's going to be, I try to keep it as low as possible. So 5,600 times 5%, so 280 up here. And again, then it's going to be 560, double that, and then 560. So there you go. It will still bring a good amount of cash flow. So, and then my cap rate, I'm buying around 20% on my cap rate. So again, it's all about buying the highest cap rate as much as possible and just negotiating numbers, but I speak out on the facts and seeing how the property is standing and the updates that it needs to get fully updated, because I don't know if there's tenant, there's literally zero information on this property. So hopefully that's able to give you guys an insight on the fix and flip and also on rental properties. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you want to do a one-on-one session with me, get understanding into like real estate, negotiating, into like any properties whatsoever, do a one-on-one session. And again, get your calculators on eltonvargas.com and then use coupon code not gatekeeping. And then from there, you have access to the calculators. So any questions or anything else, again, just don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll see you guys on the next event, which will be hosted this Sunday at 1 p.m. So yeah, hopefully that I'll be able to see you guys in there. All right. Have a good night and happy Friday.